The next item on the agenda is legislation requested by the mayor and administration. I'd like Mr. Romeo to handle resolution 03-10.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a pleasure. Resolution 3-10 is a resolution submitting the question of replacing and reducing an existing tax levy for the purpose of providing funds for the general construction, reconstruction, resurfacing, and repair of roads and streets in the city, together with all necessary incidentals and expenditures thereto, pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 5705.19, to the electors of the city of South Euclid, and declaring an emergency. I move passage of resolution 3-10.
Second.
Second.
Moved and second. Discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. As our clerk indicated and read, this is very important that we pass a levy this fall, in May if possible, to give us a few more dollars so that we can fix more streets within the city of South Euclid. And as you read this, it is a replacing and reduction, as our clerk indicated. Over the next 5 years, there's some things that are going to occur, and the 2.5 mils gives us enough to get by. We would like to go to 3, we'd like to go to 3.5, but as we have heard, that's not feasible at this time. So I'm hoping that council will support this. Thank you.
Other? Yes, Ms. Good.
I have a question. Since I wasn't, I go there. Since I wasn't able to ask this question at this meeting. The legislation says the existing levy is 3 mils. Mr. Benjamin's explanation says that the current levy is 1.37 mils. Should that say 1.37 mils equivalent? Because I don't, according to the county of millage, the 3 mils still stands. It's the amount that we get that's been reduced because of the lowering of property taxes. But the actual millage still stands at 3. And that's how you're able to say it's a reduction. Right? Do you want to explain?
That came from the Board of Elections. That's what we were talking about in the first place, but the Board of Elections rewrote, after a conversation with them, they say, since you have, it says 3 mils, it is a reduction.
Right.
But that's came from the Board of Elections.
Right.
We did not have it.
Right.
Because technically,
It's an effective 1.3.
ineffective.
Right. Board of Elections dictates.
That's fine. I'm not
That's right.
questioning the ballot language. I'm only questioning the impression. You're giving the impression that currently people are paying the equivalent of 3 mils, when in fact they're not. They're paying the equivalent of 1.37, not because the millage has changed, but because the value of their property has changed. And I understand we don't want to go through changing the language in the ordinance necessarily on the floor to reflect that. I just wanted to be made clear for the record that nobody's paying the original 3 mils and haven't been since property values started
That's what the
going.
clerk explained.
But it wasn't clear because because what he wrote and read didn't say effective 1.37 mil or 1.37 mil equivalent, which is usually the language that's used in explaining these things. That's all I wanted to make clear.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I appreciate Councilperson Goodman's comments and
No, I was just going by what the Board of Elections told me to say and put in the resolution language. And certainly I will make sure that as this is sent on to them tomorrow morning, that your concerns are heard.
Because it makes people think that they're paying less,
I understand.
but they're going to be paying more.
But that's why I wanted to make
Yeah.
certain tonight that
Very
everybody
clear
knew.
about that, we won't, it's very clear. Mr. President.
Other, yes, Ms. Sines.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. At this time, I'd like to ask for a council as a whole meeting to discuss this levy. We've not had an opportunity as a council to come together to discuss all these issues and be able to attend the presentation. So I would like to ask for a meeting because this impacts the whole city and there are only residents inviting, which I'm glad that residents from the 1 to 2 streets were available to hear the presentation and have input. But this levy is going to impact all residents, whether they have one or they live on 1 to 2 rated streets. I mean, this is going to impact senior citizens. This is going to impact everybody who's on the street. So I would like that opportunity. I know we have a deadline. It's the 18th. So if we can get a meeting together before then, because I would like the opportunity to attend the presentation, as well as all of council, so we can sit down, other than on the council floor, to go through all these options and invite the whole city. Invite or notify.
I was just speaking with the clerk, and I'll say some comments until at the end here. The 15th at 5 p.m. That will give us enough time to have to be there on the 18th.
There's a
Ward meeting.
councilperson Romeo has a ward meeting scheduled at 7 o'clock on the 15th. Or I suggested maybe 5 o'clock.
Right.
Second?
Is that okay?
Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes.
we've had a motion, second. What are we doing?
Okay. So, because
We're going to have a meeting. Out of that meeting, are we going to have a vote again?
no, we're not going to, I'm going to ask if you will withdraw the second to your motion. And on the night of the 15th, we will have the discussion and we'll vote on it that night. Right? Yes, we will vote on it that night. Yes, we're on the special.
It's all social council.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll remove my motion.
Let me, I got the floor. It will be a public meeting at 5. And I expect all council to be here on time at 5, not at 5:01, at 5 o'clock. We will discuss this item, public law to come. And we, Mrs. Filippo, would you please definitely make sure you're here, and we can have the meeting, and we will get it, and we will address it and vote it out. Vote on it. Oh, we're removed. Who had who?
I removed.
Who had second? Okay, okay.
I'd like to remove the second.
I will remove my recommendation to pass resolution 3-10.
Thank you.
Andy, are you able to attend?
I will be there.
Ed Gallagher?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanna make sure.
Okay.